Hello and what is up, guys? Rye here and welcome back to some more automation and of course BeamNG Drive. So most of you guys probably know that the new automation update just dropped and it basically revamped turbochargers completely and a bunch of other stuff that we'll sort of go through in this video. But the goal of this video is to make the most torque ever of any automation car in history, at least for YouTube. Maybe you guys have beat my record, but this is going to be my record for most torque ever. We are shooting for about 9,000 or over 9,000 pound-feet of torque in automation, which is absolutely insane. This car is basically going to be a diesel engine revving to like 1,500 RPM, which is going to be hilarious, and trust me, it still works. So with the new update, there is lots of bugs, and it's still quite buggy, but I'll leave a link down below on how to actually use the new update, how to get access to the newest automation update. You need to opt into the alpha of it, and this is the alpha of that. So, first things first, we need to design the car. Now, this is the only body where I could find a max size V16 engine would fit, which is why we're using it today. I haven't used this body really much at all, if ever, to be honest, but it looks very cool. It looks very fine. It's a 1948 body, obviously. We can do whatever we want, really, for design and engineering for this car. The engine is the most important part. We can go for partial carbon fiber. We can go for monocoque carbon fiber. Front-mounted, longitudinal is important. And we can go for double wishbone front and probably like multi-link in the rear. First thing you want to do is get yourself a lovely 5-valve V16 engine, highest quality there. And it's going to be a lovely 22-liter V16 engine. Now you see it's actually too wide to fit, so we do need to actually change our compactness of our suspension. What if we go for max struts? Okay, so McPherson struts, it will fit. They've changed a lot of things on engines in general. Now we have to have a balance shaft where we can't have a balance shaft. We can actually mouse over here and it tells you what the balance shaft does. It keeps the engine balanced so it doesn't basically explode and kill you. Let's go for the best of the best, all this stuff here. Plus 15 quality. Let's go for VVT cams. Now turbos. This is where it gets quite interesting. Now the turbos have been obviously totally revamped here, and there is single turbo. You can do a single turbo V16, twin turbo, a quad turbo V16 engine, and there's a couple other options here. There's the presets for tuning, which are not enabled right now. They are disabled during the alpha, and there's also a stage 2 setup for sequential or parallel turbos, which is super gosh darn cool. There's different things over here we'll go through in a bit here. So injection, direct injection, first cylinder race. They added one more thing as well, the ability for unleaded methane injection fuel system. So we're going to the highest quality 200 RON methane injection. The previous highest quality was 100. This is 200. This is an extra 100 RON of fuel, which is crazy. Basically a race gas, obviously. We're going to lower the RPM limit down to 2,000 because that's all we actually need. Next quality, we're going to go for a pretty rich fuel mixture for now, 12.5. Let's go for cast headers, biggest exhaust, and nothing else here. So obviously we're making the most torque any of ever car. So the goal is around 9,000 pound-feet of torque. We're going to go for a 12,000 RPM intercooler. We're going to go for a ball bearing and variable geometry turbocharger setup. Smart boost, we're going to give it, so this is different like wastegate control. So we got wastegate boost controller or a smart boost controller. So we can actually go for wastegate or boost controller, but smart boost controller was the best from what I found. There might be someone with better stuff, but that's okay. Plus 15 quality wherever we can find plus 15 quality. Okay, without touching anything, we're making 2,200 pound-feet of torque, which is pretty good from a V16, 22 liter. It's not terrible, right? If we actually look here, the car is making, it says 1.0 PSI. That's actually 1.0 bar of boost. The game is still, bugged. It's still not perfectly done. So this says PSI, but it's actually bar. You can see that's where the boost kicks in. There is a new compressor turbocharger map. We can see it's blowing up here during the high revs or the high amounts of air. So let's go back here to the main chart, power and torque. Let's just ramp this up here to a pretty reasonable sized turbocharger. We're gonna go for a 114.5 millimeter turbo, which is very, very large. Very, very, very large. But for a V16, it's not, that's a big turbo. This engine's 22 liters, and the turbocharger is absolutely massive. We're going to go for around 100 or so turbo size inducer. Actually, max size for that. We're going to go for a pretty high AR compressor trim. Let's go for an 89. It is max PSI. So right off the bat here, 4,800 pound-feet of torque. The pistons have absolutely killed themselves, but that doesn't actually matter. Now, it's currently bugged in the game. This is going to get patched, but right now we're going to exploit the bug. So if we go here to start the engine. Oh, it's loud. Oh, God, it's loud. Oh, God, I'm going to turn it down a little bit here. Hopefully it's not too loud for you guys. If we rev it up. It doesn't die. which is incredible. Now, the exhaust is actually, if you go like this, the exhaust is quite strained. We can go for a bigger exhaust. There's 6,000 pound-feet of torque, like that. We are destroying the pistons, the conrods, and the crankshaft at once, but that's okay. We don't need those where we're going, guys. Okay, now what else we need to do? We need to give it a... We still got like 70 octane to go. Let's give it very, very stiff, very, very soft lifters and springs, a very low cam profile. So you can see here the torque is fluctuating greatly. Now we're at 7,000. Okay, so after like 10 minutes of fiddling around, we got finally to 9,600 pound-feet of torque, which is insane. Basically, what I just completely choked. This turbo, this is not a proper functioning turbo. So it peaks at 1,100 RPM, and that's it. There's just no boost after that. This turbo is absolutely, it explodes. There's no coming back from this turbocharger. But I think, honestly, I think this is good. This is good. Like, the record is there for now. So guys, 9,561 pound-feet translates to about 12,960, which is very, very, very high for torque. Now, we could probably get better, and I probably will tweak this actually in the time-lapse itself. All right, so we got 9,600 pound-feet of torque, and this car runs. So if I actually go back to here, start it up, it idles at 600 RPM, and revs to 2,000, even though the chart doesn't rev it to 2,000. If we actually increase the red line even higher, if we increase the red line to, let's say, 6,000, maybe we start it again and rev it. There's a couple other things they changed, and we'll see in a second. A couple new updates for the game. We're going to make it all-wheel drive, probably, because that seems like a good idea. It's going to be a dual clutch. We'll do dual clutch 7-speed. Top speed is around 321 miles an hour, which is pretty crazy. We can change the spacing to make it a little bit longer, because we can actually do less gears. We can do 4-speed, probably, even though the top speed's like this. Yeah, that's fine. 4 speeds is fine. Our speedo is in miles per hour, which I kind of don't want, but you know what? It's there. That's fine. Electric LSD plus 15 quality. We might as well do plus 15 quality. We do need bigger tires, though. That's something we're going to need. So we go back to the paint one and make our car a little bit thicker and go back to the tires. So something also has changed with the tires. It looks a little bit different, and that's because we can actually do different size wheels front and back. So if you go like this and this, you can have tiny, tiny rear and massive front wheels. Which is interesting, and I think it'll be a lot of fun for some muscle cars and other cars as well. Some modern cars definitely have this. Let's go for actually pretty beefy brakes, and they changed a little bit of how brakes work, which is also quite nice. They've also had more under trays and diffusers. I'm not sure if they do work, but you know, they're there. And they changed the entertainment setup and the safety setup as well, which I kind of don't like, but that's okay, I guess. Let's go for that. So this, you go through all these things to 0. There we go. And there's one more thing they changed, and I'll show you in a second. Okay, so right now the car, it's got 2,000 horsepower. It weighs 4,000 pounds. It's got 60% of the weight in the front and 40% around in the rear. But if we go back to the driver's aid and safety tab, you can actually optimize weight for later. 3,600 or so pounds. And the weight's still the same split. If we actually go here to a rear bias, now it is 57.43 instead of being 59 and 41. So it has changed the rear bias just a bit, which is nice. The nice touch they added, you can actually change rear biases pretty decently. The engine weighs 1,100 pounds. The engine is like a third of the weight in this car, which is absolutely hilarious. What I'm going to do now, though, is actually design this car in a time-lapse. We'll make it look like a like a classic sort of, rat rod race car kind of thing. We'll do that. And then we'll go over the car real quick, and we'll hop into BeamNG Drive. And I want to see, can this thing tow? Is this good for towing? We don't actually know. It's hopefully good for towing. We're going to give it more cooling airflow, I guess. Higher quality there. We'll do that, and we'll see if this thing can tow. I want to see how fast this thing is, and I want to see, is this car just good in general? So sit back, relax, guys, and of course, I hope you enjoy. And we are starting the build for my 1960s, 1950s style sort of sports car, but it's actually a 2020 super high torque car. I'm not too sure what really the build is, but anyways, it's going to be modeled similar to a Cobra with a very similar front fascia to a Cobra. It's going to have a bit of a hood bulge. We're doing a bit of a side exit exhaust, even though it's going to have dual exhaust. The real car has dual exhaust. Our car only has one exhaust pipe because it's just a single turbo, but that's totally fine. It's going to be a single turbo, a single exhaust, I believe. V16 sports car. What we're doing now is chopping off the roof and adding a bit of detail to the front, but going back to the inside of the car, we're actually making a custom interior for this car. It's not very detailed, it's actually very simplistic for this car. We're adding some door cards, which we'll change later on. We're thinking of adding the floor now, so we changed the door cards finally. We've changed the dash out for a slightly more fitting dashboard added to the radio, and we're just tweaking a few things to the front end, adding a bit of roll bars to the back of the car, just thinking of details to put for this car itself. So adding the floor, which we're going to hide later, adding the sort of transmission tunnel going through the middle there, adding a steering column, tweaking the steering wheel, and adding some mirrors to the car. And what we're going to do is keep adding more details to the roll bar, tweak the headlights just a little bit, and then tweak a few things in the car itself. So we added the glass back, added the front windshield back to the car again, we added some pedals, changed the door cards just a little bit more because we tweaked the doors, adding a bit of details to the back so the entire car sort of works properly, and then tweaking the color to this nice white, which we later changed to red now, and it's like the sort of cherry kind of red. The back end, very, very simple. And in front of us is the 2020 Jenkins CD Roadster. Alright guys, so the car is finished in front of us. This is the 1940s, just kidding, it's actually the 2020 Jenkins CD Roadster. Jenkins CD is Jenkins car development. We got a very bare bones interior, which I didn't really do much to, because the point of this car is not to be designed and engineered. I mean, the windows are still kind of glitched out, but we don't have any mods right now in automation, and this is like a very, very quick build, because again, the point of this car is not to be design, it's to be driven and experienced. I like how you can see on the left hand side every one of your fixtures here, which is very, very, very nice to have. So I tweaked the engine a little bit. We're getting 9,573 pound-feet of torque, which is pretty gosh darn cool. 13,000 or so newton meters of torque, which is absolutely insane. We still have the big max size tires in the rear and as big as we can in the front, so it's still obviously a pretty reasonable car for performance. So design of the car. The front has, again, very Cobra-esque front end. Which it's missing a few gills and grills, and it's got this sort of front lip there. Give it a bit of extra downforce in the front, theoretically. We got this big old hood bulge here. We got these mirrors, which I don't think the Cobras have. We got this side dump exhaust, which doesn't look that pretty, but it's a rush job, guys. The point of this car is not for design. Remember to take notes, guys. Taillights, we got these dual circles, similar to the dual circles in the front, but a bit different because, you know, it's the back end. And a very simple bumper. And we have a tow hook, or tow hitch, just for towing. We've got a roll bar. The interior, it's got a steering wheel. We got like a stock there in the middle, which doesn't have anything on it because why do you need things? This car is meant for racing. So what we're going to do is hop into BeamNG Drive. I want to see how fast this car is. Now, in automation, it says it can do 187 miles an hour. But it says it could do 270 miles an hour in BeamNG. Let's actually lower the arrow down. I think arrows actually... What about brakes? Are our brakes good? No. No, our brakes are not good. Our brakes are not. Let's actually change the rear force a bit. And its top speed now is 270. That's reasonable. 270 miles an hour. It can be yours for a reasonable price of $2.77 million, but it does get a very economical 29 mpg. It's very safe at 2.5 safety. Look how big the exhausts are. Look at this. You see that? Look how big they are. Oh my god. Look how big that one turbo is. The turbo is bigger than the front differential, which is it's bigger than the rear. It's bigger than everything. It's absolutely massive. It is absolutely insanely massive. So what we're going to do now is hop into BeamNG Drive. I want to see how this car drives. Is it fast in a straight line? Is it fast at all? Can it handle? I don't know. So I'll see you guys in BeamNG Drive in just a sec. Alright, so we're in BeamNG Drive with the Jenkins CD Roadster. And actually, the car looks quite good in BeamNG. The back end looks kind of weird, but like the car itself, like the paint, the body looks really cool. The interior looks quite nice. It's a little empty, but that's okay. So we're here at the automation test track. We're gonna see how fast this car is. I did adjust the gearing with JB editing, so the gearing is a bit changed from default, because with the default gearing, it wouldn't go like over like 40, 50 kilometers an hour, which is not good enough for us. So I changed the gearing a bit so it's more realistic, but it's still kind of broken. Anyways, let's hop into the race. So we're gonna go first person here. Now, gearing isn't crazy long, it's just obviously more for this vehicle. That turbo is quite loud though. Oh, it's actually kind of scary to drive. The hood's so long. We are all-wheel drive, so we can just stay in all-wheel drive mode, just driving along grass. We're okay. Car is shaking pretty violently, though. Let's go in third person here. Much more calm in third person, to be honest. Much more calm. We're gonna brake. We're gonna brake. Oh no, that's not good. We're okay. We're okay. Things are fine. Try number 2. Let's go. We'll stay in third person and see how that does. Okay, kind of glitched out there. Yeah, this engine is definitely kind of glitchy. I want to see a power graph of this car. Okay, we're braking. We're going to turn the handbrake. And this new update's so much fun, to be honest. There's so much positive changes for the game. I kind of messed up that corner. We're okay. We're good. The third gear. Let's go. Brakes are quite good. I do have like the best brakes possible on this thing because there's so much torque that it does not like. We crashed there again. This is a dangerous car to drive, to be honest. It's not very good at driving, which is probably its main goal. You can definitely see there's a gap between the dash and the hood there, but that's okay. You know, this car's made very quick, and honestly, not even a terrible time at 223. That's not actually terrible. That's not bad. This car picked up very, very, very quick acceleration. It's still top 30, top 30s. Like, that's not bad. That is actually reasonable. Let's do a towing test next. Let's see how much stuff this thing could tow. I'm gonna bet it could tow literally anything in the game, but we'll try. We'll see how much it can tow. Alright, so we're still in the automation test track. We are doing a 33-degree slope with a semi-truck behind us. This is the cement one. It weighs about 13,500 kilograms, so like 30,000 or some odd pounds. Something around there. So it's quite heavy. We'll see if we can tow with this thing. We've got we got nearly 13,000 Newton meters of torque, or around 9,000 pound-feet. So let's just drive here. I think it'll do fine actually for this one. We're not even actually using all its power. Oh, we almost have to. Oh! That's actually kind of surprising. We got to speak. We have to make it across. I actually totally thought this thing could do it easily, but the gearing is not set up for towing, and we do not have a low range even, so we can't even switch down to low range. Oh my gosh! No, no, please. Okay, you know what? We're gonna send it. Come on, come on. We're going pretty fast now, to be honest. 30 kilometers now. Oh, no, that's scary. Oh, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good. No, please, please, no.
2 hours later.
It's very, very sketchy, though. The car we've got little control. We're going 30 now. 31, 32, 32. 20. No! No, please! Please, just let us do something. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. This car is awful. It's terrible. We're gonna drag race it because that's what you do. I'm angry. I'm flipping tables. Okay, drag strip. Now this is really where the car's gonna shine. Probably. We're gonna launch it anyways in manual. We're gonna launch. We're just going in. .4, that's an improvement. Okay, we kind of botched some shifts because it actually downshifted repeatedly, but a 13.5, that's not terrible. It's pretty bad, to be honest. It's pretty not great. But this car is better than every car because it's going to be the best in the jump arena. So what we're going to do is actually jump this car in the jump arena. I'll see you guys there. So we've already learned that the Jenkins CD Roadster is the fastest car ever on a track, obviously. It can tow the most in any degree of grade of climb. It's obviously the best looking, it's got the best brakes, it's got the best handling, but is it the best at jumping? Well, obviously it is, but let's find out here in the jump arena. I mean, it's actually terrible and this car sucks, but it was fun to make the most torque ever. Let's jump it and finish off here. Oh, this is not good. Yeah, it doesn't let me shift past 5th. Let's try one more time. That's the new update for automation, guys. I'm gonna have another video coming out tomorrow, probably breaking some more other sort of record, because why the heck not? The brakes are fantastic. Oh my god. How do we stop? Holy cow, the brakes are actually amazing. Oh my gosh, I've never seen a car stop like that ever before. Wouldn't have crazy amounts of momentum, but like the car actually stopped perfectly fine. We're going to finish off here. Before we finish off, though, I want to give a huge shout out to my channel members. These are people who have went above and beyond to support the channel. If you guys want to join membership on the channel, I'll leave a link down below. Thanks so much to Ruben for still being a Big Boy Turbo member. You are awesome, and I love you, bud. Thanks so much to the Quad Turbo members, DD Man and Childish Sin, as well as The Undertaker. Thanks so much to the Twin Turbos, and thanks to everybody else as well. You guys are awesome, and I really appreciate you guys. You guys are great. I'm going to be posting one more video tomorrow on Christmas Eve, then I'll probably take a break on Christmas Day, and I hope you guys have a great holidays, Christmas, or whatever you guys celebrate. Make sure to join the Discord, link in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and of course, as always, I'll see you guys next time.